For me, the previous version was pretty much one of the softest shoes I think I've ever run in. So my softness scale, I'll give that a 9.5 or a 10 out of 10 for softness. This version, they've knocked it back to about... So just a couple runs done and dusted in this one. Now this is the New Balance 1080 v14 and these are my first impressions. But before we get into it, a big shout out to my #1 running store, the Running Company at Geelong. I've got a link to their website in the description. Make sure you go check out that and check out all their running gear. And also guys, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And with the specs, so this one is a neutral road running shoe, premium daily trainer in the New Balance range. So coming in at a $270 price point here in Australia, $165 in the US. Now in the weight, on the website it actually says 298 grams or 10.5 ounces, but my size, which is just under where they measure, I'm coming way under that. So my shoe's only weighing 275 grams and that's 9.7 ounces. In the stack, we've got 38 in the rear, 32 in the front, and that's going to give us a 6mm drop. And in the upper, so brand new material here, it is a triple jacquard mesh. Now this triple jacquard mesh has got more structure in it than the previous version, but it's got these breathability zones. And within the breathability zones, I will say that it is more breathable or very breathable, but the rest of this structured shoe is still quite thick and it is still, for me, a hot shoe. So especially coming into these warmer months here in Australia. We've got a really solid heel counter at the back, and what I like to see is this, that they're putting in all their new season shoes, New Balance, these plush, puffy Achilles pillows on the back. Really love that, and I love the material that they line the inside of the shoes with as well. So yeah, lots of padding around the heel collar here. Nice plush and padded tongue. The tongue is gusseted. Standard lacing system, so there's no internal strap or anything like that. Had no issues with the laces coming undone. Lockdown, no issues at all, so no heel slippage whatsoever in the fit. True to size in the length. In the width though, it is not as wide, or it doesn't feel as wide as the previous version, so it could come up a little narrow. I don't think the shoe is any less narrow than the previous version. I think it's just because this new upper material is just more structured around the sides here, so less flexible, and then for me I feel like I'm just feeling a little bit too tight through the toe box, so just be wary about that. Stepping comfort, amazing here. Build quality, again, excellent. And in the outsole, so new design, what's going on here, they've certainly got a new rubber compound. Well, it feels that way anyway, so it certainly feels a lot firmer than the previous version. And also the tread pattern is different. So I like to see that the rubber is segmented here on the bottom, so it's not all just one piece, as you can see. So I'm in the high wear areas, in the rear, around the front, and also through the middle of the shoe. A bit of exposed foam there that doesn't really touch the ground as well. Now this new rubber compound, I believe that it's going to be a fair bit more durable, and obviously in the grip department, I've had no issues so far, but I haven't put it through any really wet or testing conditions at this stage. And in the midsole, so Fresh Foam X they are using here, but I can tell you now it's a new formulation than last year's version. Well, it certainly feels that way anyway. It's been tweaked, it feels like it's more gutsy. It's a little bit firmer, it's still got that softness though, but it feels like it's got a little bit more life. Hopefully it's going to hold up a little longer as well. No plate or anything in the shoe, so stiffness wise, let's check it out. So pretty stiff shoe here. Interesting flex point though. We've got a flex point through the middle of the shoe and not through the toes, and oh, it's actually quite firm there through the forefoot, and that probably translates to how I felt those first few runs in the ride. So yeah, pretty firm through the forefoot, but yeah, the rest, so flex point through the middle of the shoe, but again, no plate. Geometry wise, I believe they have tweaked the geometry as well in the shoe. It doesn't feel like an overly rocketed shoe. It feels pretty traditional to me. No slappiness in the ride, but I do notice it's got a bit of a heel bevel in the rear as well, but I don't strike that far back to really notice that heel bevel. But yeah, for me, this rocker, very gentle. Definitely no feeling like you're tipping forward or rolling forward at all. And in the ride, so as I had just previously mentioned, that they did firm the foam up from the previous version. Now, how much have they firmed it up? Well, for me, the previous version was pretty much one of the softest shoes I think I've ever run in. So my softness scale, I'll give that a 9.5 or a 10 out of 10 for softness. This version, they've knocked it back to about a 7.5 out of 10. So I think that's a good thing, especially for a daily trainer. I think the ride is just going to hold up. It's going to be a little bit more durable. And as I said, it feels more gutsy, but overall, still a very soft shoe. It's a very smooth shoe, very comfortable as well. Stability has definitely been improved, and I've really noticed that mainly through the forefoot, and that's confirmed it when I checked that rigidity through the shoe there. So you can feel, yeah, a little bit more stable through the forefoot again, which I think is a good thing. There's a little bit of bounce, and there is still a little bit of pop and responsiveness, but overall, it's quite mild in those sort of features of the ride. Nothing really blows me out of the water here, but you don't really expect that in a daily trainer. So likes in this shoe so far is certainly that new formulation of the Fresh Foam X. I do like how they've just firmed up that ride just a smidge. And what I'm still figuring out is the fit. So mainly just got to do with the width here. So I'm not too sure that this new material of the upper is just as accommodating as the previous version. I would love to see just a little bit more width in this shoe. It's got to be the $10 price increase from last year's model. And just wrapping up my initial thoughts here, well, I do think it's ticking most of the daily trainer boxes. So the previous model did suffer in the durability department, and also its ability to handle the long run because that foam just got too soft. So I think this year's model with the upgrades are positive. So the how they've just firmed up the midsole a little bit, it is going to add durability to the ride, and hopefully that as well will make this a more enjoyable shoe for a long run. So it's not going to break down and get too sloppy. The previous version, I couldn't really run in that any more than 70 minutes. It just got too soft and too sloppy. So hopefully this one will hold up, because your daily trainer needs to be able to do your long runs as well. But time will tell, and certainly this will be getting tested on a few long runs coming up. But anyway, guys, that's it from me. Any questions you guys have got relating this shoe or how it compares to anything else in this early stage of my testing, just drop it in the comments. Thanks for watching. Make sure you give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.